Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. This video is going to be on how to stream in OBS, and it's going to be a step-by-step guide to turn a stream that starts off some stream or YouTube, I guess, from something that starts like this. It starts off black, and then it becomes something like this, and it's going to show you how to turn it from that into a stream that looks relatively professional. And there's obviously like a lot of stuff you can do to tweak it, make it personalized, but this is just going to be a step-by-step guide on how to set up a simple, efficient, good-looking stream. So the first thing you need to do is you're going to have to add a display capture. So right here, this is the display capture, and it starts off without anything, but then the screen would be black, so you wouldn't be able to see my mouse. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to right-click, hit Add, and then you're going to add a display capture. And when you add the display capture, it's going to show up with something that looks like this, and it's going to be going off into infinity, and that's okay because it's taking an image capture of your screen, and then that's taking an image capture of that screen, so it goes off into infinity. And if you want, you can turn off the capture cursor and then your mouse doesn't show up, but I did like having the mouse. It's a personal preference though. So you hit OK. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add your camera. So you're going to hit Add, and you're going to add Video Capture Device. And since I've already set up my camera for my other stream, I'll add this one, and it shows up like this. I'll double click on it to show you what it looks like. So you choose your device. So in my case, it's the HP webcam, the default. Then you don't really have to mess with the configurations. You can just keep the defaults. I have color range on full when the default is partial, but that's a personal preference. I don't actually really know what it does. That's just something that I have. And then you hit OK. And then you can drag this around a little bit. If you want to crop it, which I recommend because you don't really want all this empty space over here on the sides, you can use the Alt, hold it down, and then slide. And that crops the image. And that lets you put it where you want it, make it the size you want it, and then you can use the lower left corner to drag it and make it the size you want. So that's how you set up the camera. And those are just the two most important elements of the stream right there. Having a little image of yourself, and then having the screen capture so that you can have your game playing. The next thing, and also on this thing, if you want your camera to stay in the same place, you don't want to accidentally click it, you can click the lock button, and then I can't manipulate it. But so we're going to do that for right now. Okay. The next important thing I'm going to show you how to do is I'm going to show you how to add a Twitch chat. So right now I'm assuming that you've downloaded OBS, that you've made a Twitch account, and so I'm going to go into my Twitch account. And this is a very simple way of making a Twitch chat on your stream. You hit the pop-out button here, and then you're going to go right-click, add browser source, and then it'll we're just going to call it Twitch Chat tutorial. And then you go into the Twitch chat, you copy this link, and you're going to paste this link into this link tab. And then you can set the width and height. I think 500 by 300, wrong one, 300 width by 500 height is a good height and width combination. And then you're going to hit refresh browser when scene becomes active. I'm not 100% sure what that does, but it's worked for me. And then you're going to have a nice little Twitch chat here show up on stream. And this Twitch chat is the exact same as the Twitch chat in this window. So if I say welcome to the stream in this window, it pops up on this little Twitch chat. So this is a way to interact with your chat if you so want to interact with your chat via the Twitch chat. By sending messages or using Twitch chat for other things. So you can also alt this to get rid of this part of it if you want. And then right now it's auto set to lock to other pieces, but I'll show you how to turn that off later when you're moving stuff around on your stream. Okay, so we'll lock that into place too. And this is another pretty important feature because you really want your Twitch stream to look professional, and almost all professional Twitch streams for many games have the Twitch chat up on the stream where you can see it. The next thing I'm going to show you how to add is an efficient looking overlay. And the overlay process is not that hard, but there's often people that say you need to find one on the internet, you need to copy and paste one. But I'm just going to show you how to just find your own image and of your choosing and put it onto your stream in a way that looks professional and a way that blends together really nicely. So to do this, we're going to have to find the image first. So we're just going to say, let's just say we want to use a green image. So we're going to say green, oops, I'll just open up a new tab. Green color image. Let's just use that. So we're going to go to images, and let's just say that we want to use this one. It does have a watermark, but I'll show you how to deal with that too. So we're going to save image as green stream background, and I've already saved it, but I'm just going to resave it again so that you folks can see what it looks like. And so now it downloads. Okay, since it has the watermark, we're going to open up MS Paint. But you don't have to have MS Paint to be able to do what I'm about to show you. And we're going to open up the file, green stream background, and we're just going to crop off the watermark. You just hover over here, you scroll up a little, and there goes the watermark, and then you hit save. So now we can add an image, and then we'll just give it very specific titles. We'll call it green background. We're going to start with the bottom, so we'll go bottom. You add the image, you find the image in your downloads, or whichever folder you choose to put it in, and we have it as green stream background. Now this is an important part, and I'm going to be doing this 4 times so you'll get a good sense of how to do it. You scroll until it fills the page, so I realize you can only see the full page, but what I'm doing here is I'm using the Alt key to make sure that the image I've chosen fills the whole screen. And then you scroll down with, then you use the Alt key again to go down. So what I was doing before was I was using the Alt key to go left and right with the, I was using it to go left and right here to push it farther in and out. And once I got it to equal to the length of the screen, I used the up and down feature to go up and down. Now, important to realize about OBS is everything works in layers. So right now, I have the green background bottom is featured above the Twitch chat. So if I scroll up here, it starts to cover the Twitch chat. Whereas if I have the Twitch chat tutorial above it, the Twitch chat goes above. And you want to have your Twitch chat and your camera on the uppermost layer so that you can have a background and still have the Twitch chat working and stuff. Okay, so this is the first step you want to do, is to have the images in the background. So, and you want those on the lowest layer. And I'm going to make them really skinny in this tutorial so you can still see what I'm doing. But ideally, you'll use the borders to crop out parts of the game that are unnecessary so that you can put text on and stuff. So I'm just going to do the left. And I'm going to do the same process with all 4 sides. So if you didn't get it the first time, never fear, you'll get 3 more cracks at understanding what I'm doing. And I'm back. And I'm going to make it really narrow so you can still see when I open file and stuff. Maybe I'll make it a little bit more wide. Yeah. And I'm just going to do it for the top as well. And you want to make sure that you scroll it out to the same amount each time. And what I mean by that is that you want to make sure that you cover the full screen and then you scroll it. So you don't want to just like scroll this to the top. You want to put it in the upper left corner, swipe it all the way down to the same amount each time, and then crop it in the same way, because that way it'll look continuous. And what I mean by that is that the colors meld together in like this pattern. So like this corner melds perfectly with this corner even though they overlap because it's been cropped the exact same way. And then just adding the one on the right. Okie doke, green background right. Okie doke, and then we'll just add this. And we're almost done with this part of the, and then we just scroll it over here. And my camera is hidden, so I'm going to make sure that I bring the camera above that and the Twitch chat above that. And there we are. So this is a really basic setup here, but it's really effective. And yeah,
it is. Exactly.
And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a frame around our picture, because that's a really makes the stream look a little bit more professional. And so we're going to go, first we're going to find a frame. So I just already did some Google searches so I wouldn't have to spend a long time. So we're going to do rainbow frame, and we're going to say transparent, because it needs to be transparent in order to be able to function with our parameters. So you can really choose any stream, any frame, as long as it fits the box that you want to have. So mine looks something like this, except it's a square. It's like something like this. And then you just use save image, and so I'm going to add my image that I found. And you can use any frame. For example, on this my other stream I have a gold frame. It's just really whatever you want it to look like. So we're going to say tutorial frame, and browse images, and yeah, rainbow frame right here. So you want the frame to be above the camera because you want the camera to kind of slot in, and it looks like that. And I personally think it looks nicer if you crop the frame to be as thin as possible. But that's a personal preference. So if you want it to not automatically snap to the edge of the source, you can turn off snapping to edge of source. If you don't want it to snap to the edge of the screen, you can turn that off, and that makes it easier to customize where your Twitch chat is. So I'm going to unlock this, and now I can kind of have a bit more free reign. So I want this more centered over here. I want to move my Twitch camera to be more like here, and then I'll move my frame like so. And now it doesn't like automatically hook to the edge, so it's much easier to manipulate things in this mode. Okay, so I like this, and then I just use Alt to scroll up to make it as narrow as possible. And this is obviously personal preference, but I recommend this because the focus shouldn't be on the frame, it should be on you as the streamer. So yeah, that's just what I recommend. Okay, so that looks pretty nice right there. And you do want to make sure that it doesn't have any of the green in there. Okay. Oh, yeah, it still has a little bit of the green, but it's not the end of the world. You can just make this a little bit bigger. And that's a lot of it's just tweaking to make it look nicer. Okay, so now this is kind of what you want your stream to look like. If you want this to lock together, you can turn on locking. I kind of like it floating slightly below. It gives you room for text here. So let's just say you want to have text of the game you're playing right there. So what you do is you go right click. So we're going to lock everything back in place. You right click, add text, and we're going to just call it tutorial text. And we aren't going to bother selecting the font. We'll just say my game record win/loss. Let's just say that this is your overall record for the day or something like that. And then you put it over here, and it looks nice. You can change the font color, the font type, and overall there's just a lot of customizing that you can do. So we're going to actually make the right border a bit less narrow. We're going to move it inward so that there's a lot more room to see what I'm up to. So now that we've got this all set up, we can go into the settings and actually calibrate our stuff for streaming. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the file, and you're going to go to settings. And the settings, just want to make sure that it shows up. The settings, the only one that's relevant in general is the snap settings, and it's useful if you want to snap your things together, have them snap to the edge of the screen, lots of customizable things you can do. So that's just that setting. Oops. The next thing is your stream settings. So we're going to be using Twitch, and the servers, there's a bunch of servers. They're all over the world. My closest server is in Ashburn, Virginia, but I used to be streaming from the West Coast, so it used to be the closest one was in San Francisco. It's not that hard to find. You can Google which one's closest, or you can just use Logic. There's also like ways to check, but that's an internet thing. It's not very hard. And then you need your stream key, and your stream key is something that you can find on Twitch, and it's found Oh man, I knew where this was yesterday because I screwed it up. It's under dashboard. And then it's under settings. And then your stream keys right here. And it'll show your key, and then you copy and paste it into here. You don't want anyone else to know your stream key because then they can like do bad things to your stream. Output. The important part on this page is the video bitrate, and that's obviously going to be determined by your computer and your internet connection. So you don't want your video bitrate to be so high that your viewers are lagging, but you don't want it to be so low that the game is impossible to see. So that's really dependent on your equipment and what game you're streaming. So that's not something I'm going to cover here, but this is where you find that setting. Audio is something I haven't messed with. I just kept the defaults. Same with video, same with hotkeys, and same with advanced. So that's how you start a stream. I think there was one other thing I wanted to add. Yeah, this is what my normal stream looks like. I chose blue, and I have a gold frame, but other than that, that's pretty much the exact same thing that I have here. And then if you want, once you start getting more followers and more viewers, you can start working on having a more professional stream with something like Streamlabs. That's also fairly easy to set up. If there's demand, I can do a video for how to set up Streamlabs, but for now, that's how you set up your Twitch stream to look nice. However, there's one other important thing that I wanted to tell you all, and that revolves around interacting with the Twitch chat while you're streaming. And there are a lot of people that I know that I've seen that think that you have to interact like on a different device, or you have to have it open on a different monitor, or you have to use your phone to look at the Twitch chat. And there's an easy workaround to all that you can just simply do based on how the layering system works on OBS. So I'm going to show you how that works now. And I'll try to explain how it works in my own best knowledge of it. So first thing you need to do is pop out Twitch chat. And right now, what basically display capture is it displays everything on your screen. However, since it's the lowest layer, it is below everything else. So if I have something up on my screen and it's on the far right, you can't see it as the viewer, but I can see it because it is still on my screen. So what I've always done is you move the Twitch chat that you just popped out all the way onto the right, and then you slide it in until it's hidden from the viewer. So now you can't see the Twitch chat, but I can. So if I type in welcome, it shows up on this Twitch chat, but you didn't see me type welcome. And like I didn't interact with this actual Twitch chat. So that means that if you type something onto the Twitch chat, I can still read it in the Twitch chat that's hidden on my side of the screen. Because when I'm streaming, all I can see is the base layer. All I see is the display capture. And you guys, like, I don't see my face in the corner of the screen. All I see is the display capture. So I have my Twitch chat here, and then when I open up my game, I'm just going to pretend Google is the game that I was doing. I scroll the image until Google takes up the full screen, except for the game. So now Google takes up all the screen capture, and it's like it's literally bordering my Twitch chat so that I can interact with the chat, I can see what everyone's saying, but the game is still full screen. You're not getting some of the game cropped off. And there's other things that you can add to your stream in the space that they can't see. One of the things you might want to add to check your video quality, you can go to Dashboard. I need to make this a little bit bigger so you can see Dashboard. Click on Dashboard, and you can sometimes pop out your own video player. So you get pop out player, and the player of your Twitch stream pops out, and you can also hide that in the corner of your stream, and then you can watch your own video while you're streaming. And that might be tough on your processor depending on your internet connection, but it's something you can do to check whether there's a bunch of lag, how the video is processing, if the audio is okay. Sometimes you can do that. But overall, I just recommend streaming with your computer on mute so that if you need to check your stream for something to change the stream title or something like that, you don't have like echoing taking place. So that's just something you can do. The hiding of the thing behind the Twitch chat is very important, and that's something that you can use to interact with your stream. Also, final thing, before you go live with your first stream, you're going to want to do a test. So I'm just going to get rid of the green background on the right so you can see which buttons I'm talking about and the Twitch chat. So, and I'll get rid of the text. So the buttons over here are the streaming button, which you click when you go live streaming, and the recording button. So when you want to check your audio on the first time streaming, you click the start recording button, and then you start the recording, and then you say a couple things, you stop the recording, and then you go to File, Show Recordings, and then it'll show all of your recordings in that you just made in Twitch. And that's very important to do because you don't want your first impression on stream to be a negative one. You want it to be at least solid and perform well. So, for example, when sometimes on my stream, the properties of my microphone were selected to default. And when they were selected to default, I couldn't be heard. But I didn't know that because it was the default setting, and I had to select the microphone. So when I did my practice recording, I noticed that I couldn't hear myself, and I went into the microphone and I saw that that was the problem. So you always want to do a practice recording before you go live for the first time to make sure that everything works properly. And desktop audio is same thing. I think that's just speakers if I'm like playing music or something. I've never really messed with desktop or camera, but I did mess with this bar. You can slide this bar back and forth. Makes you louder or quieter. I keep it at this amount because it's the sound that I had when I had like reasonable volume on my computer and I was speaking at a normal voice and it seemed to work well. So that's how you get your stream up and running and looking rather professional, and also have your Twitch chat ready. And yeah, if you found this video helpful, I would really appreciate it if you'd click the subscribe button on the channel. If you want to catch me streaming live, I stream most days on Twitch at Nikolai Bolas. And yeah, happy streaming, everyone. I hope this video was helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, concerns, thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will gladly address them. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.